Alright, so today we're going to move on to chapter 10, and what it's looking at is something called conic sections. And conic sections are sections of kind of like a cone or multiple cones. We're kind of be slicing them through. And so these are the different conic sections that we have, and what they kind of look like when you're given the figure in which the cones and how you're cutting them. And so the conic sections that we're going to be looking over is a parabola, which you probably know of, you've probably seen, and you've probably dealt with. Hopefully you remember doing that. Circles, which also you have probably seen and dealt with in like geometry and maybe some Algebra 1. And then ellipses and hyperbolas, which maybe you haven't seen yet, so those will probably be new. But what we're going to be looking at in this section, or in this chapter, is more of graphing them, how to sketch them on a graph, and different things with that. Their movements and foci, directrix, and different things like that. So here are your conic sections, okay, and what they are. So the first one, a parabola. Okay, so a parabola just looks kind of like this. Okay, pretty simple. The archway or the gateway in St. Louis. You see this a lot in like bridges and as you see here, the Eiffel Tower, and just kind of curves are usually in a parabola shape or a parabolic shape. Okay, and so this is just an example of different parabolas that you might see, and it's easy to find other ones around. If you take a flashlight and put it up like against a piece of paper or against the wall, you can create a parabola, and it's those are just different examples of what a parabola is. And this is kind of what it is just kind of introducing you to each one of these. So the next one's a circle, which I hope everybody knows what a circle is. Otherwise, some people, we've had trouble not passing our first grade, second grade objects. So again, a circle is just there's a center and then a radius and then kind of just moving around. So like if you cut an orange in half, I've got this image of a necklace, just a circle, a ring. Okay, those are all circles. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Okay. The next one is an ellipse. Okay, an ellipse is also an oval. That's what you might have mostly heard them. And an example of ellipse is like the Batman logo. You know, I'm Batman type of stuff. That's inside. The bat is inside an ellipse. The yellow object is an ellipse, and actually there's other ellipses in there that make it up, but that is your that's an example of an ellipse. So as you see, it's kind of like a circle, but you've taken 2 points opposite each other and you've kind of pulled them a little bit, or you can think you're taking 2 points and you kind of squish them a little bit. Another example of where we see ellipses is kind of the orbit of the Earth and other planets around the Sun. They're kind of an ellipse shape. It's not a perfect circle, and actually it's not even a perfect ellipse because we have some slight movement here and there. But it's closer to an ellipse than a circle or any other shape. And so that's another example of where you can see ellipses. Okay, so it's just kind of like a non-perfect circle. Okay, last one is a hyperbola, and a hyperbola looks like this up here. How you've got, it coming in and it cuts back out. It's coming in and it cuts back out. Okay, and we're going to be looking at more into detail on each of these separately. But an example of where you can see hyperbola is like if you have a lamp where light can come out the top or the bottom. If you put it up against a wall, you can create an ellipse or a hyperbola. Okay, it's kind of like two parabolas, one opening up and one opening down at the same time. They could be opening up and down, or they could be opening side to side. Like this cooling tower for a nuclear plant, we've got two ellipses, or two parabolas kind of going out off to the sides of it. And this is an example of your hyperbolas. Okay. All right, your IRAT. So your IRAT, what you're going to be doing for your IRAT is that you are going to be looking for real-world examples. Okay, find real-world examples of these 4 conic sections. So you got to find one of each. Okay, take a photo, put it in a photo document. Please use one of your personal photos. Okay, one that you take a picture of. And when you have that after you put it on a document, make sure you label what is what. So this is the parabola, this is the circle, this is the ellipse, this is the hyperbola. Okay, so make sure you have an example of each, put them on a Word document, and then either send them to me or bring them into class. Bring a hard copy so I can see, and then if there's anything that's not correct, like if your hyperbola doesn't really look like a hyperbola, we can discuss why and everything. So that's what your IRAD is. So look for 4 real-world examples, one of each. Okay, so you need a parabola, you need a circle, you need an ellipse, and you need a hyperbola. Okay, so find 4 real-world examples of each, put them on a single document, either send them to me or bring in a hard copy by the time class starts.